There is helicopter footage out of Chicago that shows Trump's federal goons using tear gas on protesters, but they're also hitting local police officers with it before they peel out of the neighborhood in their vehicles like a paramilitary drive-by. We've got video here that we will look at as I sort of explain what's going on. Now, all of this started when Border Patrol agents, not local police, Border Patrol agents chased an SUV through a residential street in the southeast side of Chicago. They rammed the car using what's called the pit maneuver. This is a move that a lot of police departments, it's considered so dangerous that many police departments ban it. People have died from the pit maneuver. If you watched, police chases 20 years ago, it was relatively common, much less so now. The crash sent the suspects flying out of the car. They were caught, but what happened next really is where things started to fall apart. Residents started to gather after federal agents reportedly chased and crashed into an SUV in the neighborhood. Neighbors came outside, parents, kids, seniors. They watched agents with assault rifles surround the area. And then you see the smoke grenades. You see the pepper balls. You see the tear gas. Chicago police say a bunch of their own officers were disabled by the gas. They were there trying to calm things down. Think about that. Trump's federal agents tear gas Chicago cops. The mayor of Chicago doesn't want the federal agents there. The governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker, doesn't want the federal agents there. You look at the individual witness stories. A teenage girl hit in the head with a canister. A 15-year-old boy, not that it matters, but happens to be an American citizen, detained, handcuffed, held for 5 hours without even being allowed to call mommy. His lawyers say he was kept in a garage by masked agents, a 15-year-old. Now, this is not an isolated incident. The Chicago Tribune reports that this was the third time in just weeks that federal agents have deployed tear gas in Chicago neighborhoods. This includes near a school. According to NBC Chicago, this entire operation may have been illegal, violating a federal court order from just last week, which bans officers from using tear gas or chemical weapons except if it's a life and death situation. I don't think you can look at that and honestly say that it's a life and death situation. And to recap here, federal agents under Trump chasing immigrants through city streets, crashing into a car, tear gassing a neighborhood, injuring kids and cops, and violating a federal court order in the process. This is what authoritarian drift looks like. They talk about law and order. Let's get the lawless Biden administration out and we will finally restore law and order. And then not only do you deny people due process and all of these other things that we've been covering for the last 9 months, you then send federal agents into cities to restore calm, except that's not what they're doing. They're escalating the conflict. Authoritarian propaganda has as a hallmark, as a typical characteristic, that you create chaos, you blame the chaos you created on your enemies, and you justify the chaos you created to do even more cracking down. So Trump's DHS shows up, they provoke residents, they gas the crowd and cops, and then they go, look at how chaotic this is. We need to do even more. We need more troops here. We have more justification to keep doing it. Now, if this sounds familiar, it's because it's a classic from Republicans. We don't like Social Security. Let's screw up Social Security and then go, look, this is terrible. We've got to privatize it. We've got to get rid of it. They don't like the post office. So they go, hey, let's screw up the post office, put in place a postmaster general who doesn't like the post office, make it function poorly. And then we go, look, FedEx and UPS would do a much better job. Let's get rid of USPS and let's privatize it. Or with Obamacare, they don't like Obamacare. They go, okay, we can't get rid of Obamacare. Let's defund Obamacare. Let's get rid of the individual mandate, which makes it mathematically insolvent. And then we can go, look, it's not working so well. We got to get rid of it. Well, it's not working so well because of what you did. This is a classic of authoritarian propaganda. It is bringing violence and chaos to our streets. And even governors seem unable to keep these folks out. So where will we be 3 months from now? Will this be over? Or will we have San Francisco and Baltimore and all of the other cities that Trump's been threatening to go to overrun with federal agents, masked federal agents, often not identifying themselves, running rampant and terrorizing communities? I don't know where we're going to be, but we've got to make sure everybody sees what's going on. So please make sure to share this video if you're watching on YouTube. Leave a comment. I want to hear your thoughts. We'll take a quick break and be right back.